Hey everybody, obviously I'm Ryan, and I'm just wanting to have a quick, just real pool talk 2021 going on over here because we're, obviously inundated and overwhelmed with phone calls and work orders and everybody having a lot of questions. So I have a few notes and I just want to go through some of these topics that I'm going to be doing, or discussing in this video, which is really just to give y'all some perspective on what's really going on in the industry. So something I want to talk to y'all about today is time frame. And really what that means is what does it look like for us to be getting out to your home once you've talked to us. Another is to kind of give you a rundown on how can you keep your pool clean without your equipment being on or even available to run. Estimates. I want to talk to you about estimates that we're giving you to get all of these things fixed. I want to talk to you about pool cleaners and how they can help you during this time of your equipment being just totally annihilated. Some other chemicals that can help you during this time as well. And then what your 2021 goals should look like when it comes to your pool. So let's just run back to the front of this. When it comes to a time frame, all of this is completely honest answers, and when we tell you something along the lines of we don't know, we really don't. This is something that we are in complete uncharted territory. We've never had the volume of people needing work done immediately as we ever have right now. So at this moment in time where we have over 500 open work orders, which is completely out of the water for us, we want to tell you that we're going to see you in about 2 weeks. Guys, out of around 30 people that I have working here, there's 4 guys that have the skill sets to come out here to your home to start taking out a saw, gluing pipe, doing all of the work to fix it. So I have 500 work orders and I have 4 guys trying to get that done. These 4 guys have been trying to do all of this stuff since COVID of last year, and now we're running into these problems. So be patient with us. I want you to have more of an expectation on a timeline of it being along the lines of 4 weeks to 6 weeks for us to maybe even just get out to your house. So with that being said, if you feel like that is way too long and you can't wait, I understand. If you feel like you need to call someone else, we understand. I want you to be prepared for if you to call anyone else, whether they're a plumber, another hot tub or pool company, or anybody else, for them to give you the exact same answer that I'm giving you now, 4 to 6 weeks, or we don't know. Okay, moving on. When it comes to parts availability, some of us need to grasp the concept that your pool this year you may not have a pool this year. Something that you need to think about is with us coming off of COVID and COVID still happening and workforce is still being completely diminished and products and factories still not being up and running to the same level that they were pre-COVID, parts were already at a huge shortage. And when I say huge, I mean massive. Now with the demand skyrocketing, parts are non-existent to unavailable at best. So if you have a heater that you're looking for, whether it's major parts or a heater in general, time frame on that, probably about 5 to 6 months. There's plenty of things out there that are non-existent. So again, we're looking for patience, which is going to take us into this next topic of how do you keep your pool clean or maybe even functional while you don't have any equipment. This is actually a pretty easy solution. The hard part is that it's just going to take a little time and elbow grease. So the best thing that you could do is scoop up a water sample and bring it in and let us see what it is that your pool looks like. Are your readings so far off that we need to do some work on balancers? Are they so far off that we need to do some work on just trying to have some chlorine? Liquid chlorine is a great way to go ahead and get shock into your pool without it clouding up because the cloud is going to be a real thing without having water moving from, the equipment. So liquid chlorine is going to be a real thing that you need to be thinking about. If I were you, I would up my game on some tablet floaters so that you could put chlorine tablets inside of a floater to let it float in the pool versus being in a feeder back by your equipment that's not working. And you probably need to make sure that you have a good pole and a good pool brush. Because those are going to be two super essential pieces of equipment. You're not trying to brush your pool like you're brushing your teeth. It is not because you have algae. We're simply trying to hit the walls to turn the water over so that we can get some of this liquid chlorine just turning around, doing work. And it's getting in there for a good mix. So liquid chlorine, big thing. Tablet floater, big thing. Tablets, obviously, big thing. Pool pole and a pool brush. Now, obviously leaves and things like that are going to start dropping. We're fixing to hit springtime. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on. You might want to be thinking about a pool net too. So these are 5, pieces of equipment that are going to be very important for you over the next weeks to months, maybe even for the whole year. Okay, so with that being said, when I spoke about on our notes list about chemicals that can help you maintain, there's a few. Now, if you've been a customer or you watch me on Facebook, you always hear me talking about the Ryan package. Now, there's 3 pieces of that are super important that can really help you just maintain the pool. Because guys, we're looking for blue. We're not necessarily looking for clear. We're not looking for diamonds and sparkly water. We're just trying to make it work. So if I were you, there's a couple of pieces of chemical equipment that I would be on, and I would be trying to look at this immediately. One is a product called Optimizer by BioGuard. We've talked about this for years. We've sold it for years. It makes your water extremely soft. It makes it extremely clear. It makes your chemicals that are already in the pool work even more efficiently. For my buck, there's not ever going to be a better time to try to have Optimizer in your water than there is right now. Second, Aquafinesse tablets. This is a tablet that looks like a chlorine tablet. It is not. Now, for you that do not have any equipment moving the water at all, something like this needs to be crushed up, maybe dissolved in a bucket and poured in. And of course, we're going to hit it with that brush just to turn the water over. And the last thing is something that is called an Instant Frog. It's good for 20,000 gallons and it lasts for around 6 months. Some of you might need 2. I like to think of these as a backup system so that your chlorine can go in there and hang out and not immediately be having to just like kill everything that's in the water. These are 3 chemicals that are going to help you immensely this year, trying to just keep the pool under control and maybe even still allow you to have a swimmable pool year. Because for some of you, equipment and everything else is not going to happen. And that's something I just want to really get everybody to wrap your head around. I know a lot of this seems, crazy. There's not a lot of like aftermath. We're driving down the street, trees are fine, all of, power lines aren't down. When you go into somebody's backyard, and for most of you, you can go into your own backyard, your pool slab looks like it has been in a war zone. And that's what we're dealing with. These are war zone after effects with no parts, no pipe, not enough help. All of it is there. So I want everybody to just take a step back and think that this year might be a year that you do not have a swimming pool. Not to swim in, it's still going to be there, which that's the hard part to grasp. Your pool is still there. Your water still has to be taken care of. You still have to try to help it look at least a little pretty. And maybe not because you're trying to swim in it. Maybe it's just so that it's not a swamp. Because the one thing that you don't want is the city calling you and saying, hey, Mr. or Miss somebody, your pool is so green or it's so black and there's mosquitoes everywhere and it's really turning into a problem and we're going to issue you a citation about that. You can start to feel helpless really quick. I just want you to know you don't have to be helpless. We are here to help, but some of this stuff is going to be on you. We can help you keep the pool manageable, and it may be clear and it may not, but it doesn't have to be green and it doesn't have to be black. It doesn't have to be a swamp or a breeding ground for mosquitoes and anything else out there that feels scary. We can help you with that. Okay, with that being said, estimates. For everybody that has an estimate out there, I just want y'all to 100% know, and this is me just being extremely real, there are going to be discrepancies in your estimate. We can't help it. I want you to know that there's going to be cracks in your equipment that are as small as a hairline. When there's pressure against that, if we had water flowing through that, you would see water squirting everywhere. It'd be like Old Faithful going to the left and to the right and everywhere. Once there's no pressure, once we have no water in that system, once we don't have an on switch to make anything work, those cracks go down so small that you might not even be able to see it. Because guys, I've been to a lot of places and I've looked at a lot of equipment over the past couple of weeks. There's a lot of factors in the backyard that you can't even think that would make a difference. Dog hair. There's dog hair on people's equipment. There's just dirt that's everywhere. These are not things that you think about, but when we're out here trying to assess damage, we're trying to look for cracks that are hairline, super, super thin. Anything that's a distraction or can get in the way can make it really, really hard to see what those visual problems are when it comes to your equipment. So with that being said, you just need to know, if you have a pool that it looks like your piping broke and you have a heater, you need to be prepared for when we get all of that stuff fixed, your heater's going to be busted. More than likely your heater is dead. More than likely your filter that looks like it's totally fine, it's probably dead. There's going to be many of you that we get out there and we start fixing stuff, and it is going to cost more money than your estimate said. I'm telling you this because it is important now for us to be able to talk about this and communicate about this before we give you a bill that's XYZ more expensive than what we quoted or gave you an estimate for. Because the truth is, we just can't see all of the damage. Some of the damage won't even be able to be assessed until we have part of your equipment fixed. That's the hard part. For some of you, insurance is going to take care of this. For some of you, insurance is not. I understand that this is something that you don't want to have to go through. These are just things that are going to happen. I need y'all to be prepared for. And we want to work with you on this. We want to talk to you about it. So I just need everybody to understand estimates. Your estimate might be $400. Your estimate might be $5,000. It might be $10,000. I'm seeing estimates in all ranges go out there. We're trying to overestimate on labor. We're trying to make sure that we cover all of our bases so that we can give you a final bill that's less than the estimate that we created for you. Those are all great intentions. It's not going to happen for all of you. It's not going to happen for most of you. That's the point that I'm trying to get across. Okay, so, and with any of the stuff that I'm talking about, if you have a concern, we want you to call, we want you to text, we want to talk to you about it. This is just me trying to communicate to you in a very real way about what's happening in the industry around us. Okay, pool cleaners. I have robotic pool cleaners in stock that can move up to 4,300 gallons an hour. A lot of that can be more than your pool equipment. So robots can get in there and actually clean the pool, and they filter the pool, and they're stirring the water up. These are three huge things. Now, robotic pool cleaners are not $200, but if something like that is interesting to you, we have them. We would like to talk to you about it. It can definitely take some of the strain off of what you're feeling on needing to get out there and take care of the pool. All you have to do is plug it in and hit a button, and since it's running off of electricity and then dumbed down to a transformer at 24 volts, it's completely safe to have in the pool, and we would love to talk to you about it. Okay, that's actually all I have to talk about. So just in a recap, for 2021, I want you to have a pool goal. Your pool goal should still be that I want a nice, beautiful, clear pool. Some of you, this is totally going to happen. Some of your equipment was saved. Some of you have zero problems. For the ones who have that war zone in their backyard and their whole pipes and a slab and all of that just looks like it exploded and a bomb went off, your pool goals need to be that my pool's not green, or it's not black, or I'm not going to let it get to a point that it is going to be unmanageable and extremely expensive to get back, or feel like I just don't want to have a pool anymore. It does not have to get to that at all. So if you feel like you are having a concern of that, please call us. We want to help you be able to keep your pool at a very manageable level this year, because nobody has to turn green at all. I've had pools on service for years that never even had equipment. Their equipment blew out a long time ago, and that owner chose to never replace their equipment, and all they had was a hole in the ground that looked like a pool with water in it. And we were still able to keep it sparkly, blue, and clear, and wonderful. And people swam in it for years. I've had multiple pools like this. So the one thing I need you to know for a fact is that there is no pool out there that has to have running equipment in order to stay perfect. There just needs to be an expectation set on you and on us so that we can help you maintain it for the least amount of dollars that we can help you with, and for you to have the least amount of elbow grease. But guys, the elbow grease is a real thing. We're gonna have to get out there and take care of it. So anything that you have that's a question, some of you are gonna see this on Podium when you text me, and this is gonna be in an after hours response. Some of you are gonna get this in an email. Some of you are gonna see this on Facebook. I don't care if you're a customer of mine for 20 years, if you've never even heard who I am, if you don't know who our store is. If we can help you, we want to. So please, if you want to text us and ask us about any of this, you can get us at 754-4551. Of course, you can call that same number, or you can look on Facebook. There's always tons of updates and things that we're trying to push out there to help you figure out what is your next best step. With all of that being said, I know this was a long, drawn-out video. If there's any parts of this or any facets of this that you want to talk about or want to discuss, whether it's from estimates to chemicals or any of the other things that we talked about, please don't be afraid to reach out. We're here to help. Okay, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.